It's 2 in the morning, and if you're awake right now or watching this later today, there's a reason this update matters. Over the last several hours, new conversations inside Washington have pushed a familiar but powerful idea back into the spotlight, an idea being discussed quietly but seriously. And that is the possibility of a so-called tariff dividend that could reach as high as $2,000 for some Americans. This is not a payment that has been approved yet, and it is not something being deposited today, but it is something that seniors, retirees, and benefit recipients should clearly understand now before confusion and misinformation spread. Many people have already started hearing the words tariff dividend online, on social media, and in late-night news commentary, and for some, it sounds confusing or even suspicious. That's completely understandable. The term is not used often, and it doesn't work the same way as Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits. So tonight, we're going to slow everything down, explain what this proposal actually means, why it is being discussed again, who could potentially qualify if anything moves forward, and what seniors should realistically expect over the coming months. First, let's talk about where this idea comes from, because context matters. A tariff is a tax placed on imported goods. When goods come into the United States from other countries, companies importing those goods pay these tariffs to the U.S. government. In recent years, tariffs have been used more aggressively as part of trade policy, especially on large categories like steel, aluminum, technology components, and consumer products. When tariff revenue increases, the federal government collects more money without raising income taxes on individuals. The idea behind a tariff dividend is simple in theory, even though it becomes complex in practice. Supporters argue that if tariff revenues grow significantly, a portion of that money could be returned directly to Americans as a one-time payment, similar in structure to past stimulus checks, but funded differently. Instead of borrowing money or increasing deficits, the funds would come from tariffs already collected. Now, it is very important to be clear here. There is no signed law approving a $2,000 tariff dividend right now. There is no official payment schedule. And there is no confirmed eligibility list yet. What exists is renewed discussion, policy drafts, and internal economic modeling that has reignited public interest, especially among seniors who remember previous stimulus programs and are understandably hopeful for additional financial relief. Why is this being discussed now? The answer has a lot to do with economic pressure that hasn't gone away. While inflation has slowed compared to its peak, everyday costs remain high. Groceries, utilities, insurance, housing, and healthcare expenses continue to strain fixed incomes. Seniors living on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits often feel these pressures first and most intensely. Policymakers know this, and any proposal that promises relief without raising direct taxes tends to gain attention quickly. Another reason this idea is resurfacing is political timing. As discussions turn toward future budgets and economic plans, proposals that can be framed as returning money to the people often re-enter the conversation. A tariff dividend fits that narrative, especially when framed as sharing revenue collected from foreign imports with American households. So, where does the $2,000 figure come from? That number is not random. It is based on estimates from economic models that look at projected tariff revenue under certain trade scenarios. If tariffs remain in place or expand, revenue could reach levels where a one-time payment in that range becomes mathematically possible. However, possible does not mean guaranteed, and seniors should be cautious about anyone claiming this payment is already approved. Let's now talk about potential eligibility, because this is where many questions come in. While nothing is finalized, discussions so far suggest that eligibility would likely mirror previous direct payment programs in some ways. That could mean income thresholds, filing status considerations, and possibly benefit recipient status playing a role. Seniors receiving Social Security retirement benefits, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits are often included automatically in programs like this, but that inclusion would need to be written clearly into any final legislation. One important point that many older adults worry about is whether a payment like this would reduce or interfere with existing benefits. Historically, one-time stimulus payments have not counted as income for programs like Social Security or Medicare, and they have not reduced monthly benefit amounts. While no promises can be made until official rules are published, there is no indication so far that a tariff dividend would change how Social Security checks are calculated or paid. Another common concern is taxation. In past programs, stimulus payments were not taxable income. Whether a tariff dividend would follow the same treatment is still unknown, but many policymakers argue that treating it as non-taxable would be necessary to preserve its intended relief effect, especially for seniors on fixed incomes. Now let's slow down and talk honestly about timelines. Even if lawmakers agree in principle, proposals like this take time. Drafts must be written, debated, amended, and voted on. Funding mechanisms must be finalized. Agencies like the Treasury and the IRS would need instructions on how to distribute payments. That means anyone promising checks next week or this month is not being truthful. What seniors should do right now is stay informed without panicking. There is nothing you need to sign up for at this stage. There are no forms to fill out. There is no deadline you are missing tonight. The most important thing is understanding the proposal clearly so that if it does move forward, you recognize legitimate information and avoid scams. Scammers often take advantage of moments like this. When talk of payments circulates, fraudulent messages claiming to unlock money or confirm eligibility begin spreading. Remember this clearly. No legitimate government program will ask for your bank information by phone, text, or unsolicited email. Any real payment would be processed through official systems already on file, just like previous stimulus checks. As we move forward in this discussion, it's also helpful to compare this proposal to what seniors already receive. Social Security cost of living adjustments help somewhat, but they rarely match real-world inflation perfectly. SSI remains extremely modest. SSDI beneficiaries often face higher healthcare costs. VA recipients may see adjustments, but those too take time. A one-time payment would not solve long-term challenges, but it could offer short-term breathing room for essentials like food, utilities, prescriptions, or overdue bills. That's why this conversation matters, especially for older Americans. Even the possibility of relief deserves careful explanation, not hype, not fear, and not false promises. Understanding the difference between discussion and decision helps protect your peace of mind and your financial security. In the next part, we'll go deeper into how a tariff dividend would likely be distributed if approved, how it might compare to previous stimulus programs, what realistic scenarios seniors should prepare for, and how to protect yourself from misinformation while staying ready for legitimate updates. As we continue this update, it's important to take a calm and realistic look at what would happen next if the tariff dividend proposal were to move forward. Many seniors remember how quickly rumors spread during previous stimulus cycles, and that experience taught an important lesson. The most valuable thing right now is clarity. So let's walk carefully through how a payment like this would likely be handled, what signs would indicate real progress, and how older adults can prepare without stress or confusion. If a tariff dividend were approved, distribution would almost certainly rely on systems already in place. In the past, the federal government has used existing records from Social Security, the Treasury, and the IRS to deliver payments automatically. Seniors who receive Social Security retirement benefits, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits would not be expected to apply separately in most cases. Payments would typically be sent by direct deposit to accounts already on file, or by paper check if that is how benefits are currently received. This is an important point because it means legitimate programs do not require sudden action on your part. One reason policymakers favor this method is efficiency. Creating new systems is expensive and slow, while using existing benefit records allows payments to reach people faster and with fewer errors. This is also why it is critical to keep your information up to date through official channels only. Address changes, banking updates, or benefit status changes should always be handled directly with the appropriate agency, never through third-party services claiming to speed things up. Another question many seniors are asking is whether everyone would receive the same amount. While headlines often focus on the $2,000 figure, real programs often include adjustments based on income or filing status. Some proposals suggest a full amount for individuals below certain income levels, with reduced amounts for those above those thresholds. This approach is similar to how previous direct payments were structured and is intended to focus relief on those who need it most. It's also worth addressing how this proposal fits into the larger picture of retirement security. A one-time payment, even a generous one, is not a replacement for long-term income stability. Social Security remains the backbone of retirement income for millions of Americans, and programs like SSI and SSDI provide essential support for those with limited resources or disabilities. A tariff dividend would be a supplement, not a substitute, and understanding that distinction helps set healthy expectations. Some seniors worry that accepting a payment could create problems later, such as benefit reductions or eligibility reviews. Historically, stimulus payments have not triggered penalties or reassessments for Social Security or Medicare. They were designed to provide relief without long-term consequences. While final rules would determine the exact treatment, there is no indication so far that a tariff dividend would be handled differently in this respect. Let's also talk about timing in a realistic way. Legislative processes are rarely fast, especially when they involve funding and national economic policy. Even if strong support builds quickly, weeks or months can pass before anything becomes official. During that time, headlines may change daily, opinions may shift, and speculation may increase. That does not mean progress is not happening. It simply means the system is doing what it always does, moving deliberately. This waiting period can be frustrating, especially for seniors facing immediate financial pressure. Rising utility bills, prescription costs, and everyday expenses don't pause while lawmakers debate. That's why it's important to continue managing your finances based on what you know for certain today, not what might happen tomorrow. Budgeting carefully, prioritizing essentials, and seeking available assistance programs remain just as important now as they were before this proposal appeared. Another critical topic we must address is misinformation. Whenever money is involved, misleading claims spread quickly. Some videos and posts may use urgent language to create fear or excitement, suggesting that action must be taken immediately or money will be lost. That is not how legitimate government programs operate. Real updates come through official announcements, and they are usually widely reported across trusted news outlets and government communications. If you ever feel unsure about a claim, pause before reacting. Ask yourself whether the source is trying to pressure you emotionally. Ask whether they are asking for personal information. Ask whether they promise guaranteed results. Those are warning signs. Staying cautious protects not just your finances, but your peace of mind. For seniors, peace of mind is not a small thing. Financial uncertainty can affect sleep, health, and overall well-being. That's why clear explanations matter. Even when the news is only a possibility, understanding it properly helps reduce anxiety and prevents unnecessary stress. Looking ahead, what should seniors watch for as signs of real movement? Formal bill introductions, public statements from Treasury officials, and clear guidance from Social Security or related agencies are key indicators. Vague references and unnamed sources are not confirmations. When something becomes real, the language will change from could and might to will and has been approved. It's also helpful to remember that policy discussions often evolve. The final version of any program may look different from early drafts. Payment amounts may change. Eligibility rules may be refined. Distribution timelines may adjust. None of this means the idea has failed. It means the process is working through details. In the meantime, seniors should continue focusing on what they can control. Keep records organized. Stay connected to reliable information. Talk with family members or trusted advisors if you have concerns. And most importantly, avoid making financial decisions based solely on unconfirmed news. As we bring this update to a close, let's summarize what truly matters. The $2,000 tariff dividend is a proposal, not a promise. It is being discussed because economic pressure remains real, especially for older Americans on fixed incomes. If approved, it would likely be distributed automatically using existing systems without affecting monthly benefits. No action is required from you right now, and no legitimate program will ask for your personal information unexpectedly. Staying informed without panic is the best position to be in. Knowledge gives you power, patience protects you from mistakes, and understanding the process helps you see through the noise. Whether or not this proposal becomes reality, being prepared and informed ensures that you are ready for whatever comes next. Thank you for taking the time to understand this update. Information like this matters because it helps protect your financial security and allows you to make decisions with confidence. Stay steady, stay informed, and remember that clarity is always more valuable than urgency. Before we fully close this discussion, it's worth taking a moment to reflect on why updates like this feel so urgent to so many older Americans, especially when they surface late at night or early in the morning. Financial news has a different weight when you're living on a fixed income. Every headline feels personal because it connects directly to groceries, medication, housing, and peace of mind. That is why it is so important to separate calm explanation from noise and urgency from reality. The idea of a tariff dividend has stirred attention because it touches on a real concern shared by millions of seniors. Costs have risen faster than many monthly benefit increases, and even careful budgeting doesn't stretch as far as it used to. When people hear about a possible $2,000 payment, it's natural to feel hopeful, skeptical, or even overwhelmed all at once. None of those reactions are wrong. What matters is how we respond to that information. One of the most valuable things seniors can do right now is hold on to perspective. Over the years, many proposals have been discussed, revised, delayed, or abandoned. Some eventually became reality, while others did not. The difference between those outcomes was not late-night alerts or viral posts, but formal decisions made through established processes. Understanding that helps prevent emotional exhaustion caused by constant anticipation. It is also important to remember that your current benefits remain your foundation. Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and VA benefits are not changing because of this proposal. Your monthly check will continue to arrive as scheduled. Your eligibility status remains the same. Your healthcare coverage is not affected by these discussions. Keeping that stability in mind can ease anxiety while policymakers debate additional measures. Another point worth emphasizing is personal preparedness. While you do not need to take action regarding a tariff dividend right now, staying organized always works in your favor. Keeping benefit letters, bank information, and personal records in order helps ensure that if any future payment is approved, there are no unnecessary delays or complications. Preparedness is not panic. It is simply good stewardship of your own affairs.